welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dani and this is Coffee Break with Dani. Today we are here with a girl chat, girl talk video. Y'all know the drill. I post a question box on Instagram and you guys leave me a question, a rant, a confession, a joke, and we talk about it here. This is the opportunity for us to just kind of hang out, be honest, safe zone, unfiltered, and just kind of talk about things. I do have to say, and I say it in every video, is I have been told that I do give good advice, whether it's because of my life experience in such a short period of time. I like to say life experience, but really it's just self-deprecation and lots of trauma, or because I have a knack for really trying to feel what others are feeling. I don't know. I'm really invested. I'm like the chismosa comadre in the neighborhood, the one that's like, there's a fight and she's like outside trying to look out the window. Anyway, so I've been told I give good advice, so I'm going to try my best to talk about things, questions, concerns that you guys have brought up on the Instagram post that I've recently done. Honestly, it's for entertainment purposes, so these videos are never meant to cause any harm, hurt anyone's feelings, or claim that I am the super expert master of the universe at all. I'm just trying to hang out with you guys, so that's what we're going to do here. You know what? Hopefully we learned something. If not, at the very least, I hope it's entertaining for you guys. That's what I'm here for. You know, like, that's me. These videos are a lot more entertaining if you have a drink. So go get yourself some coffee, some tea, or I don't know, throwback. Mike's hard lemonade reminds me of when I was, or a snack, because usually we're here for about an hour, and that's longer than like your favorite Netflix episode series. Sarah wants to know, do you regret dating someone with kids? I guess it depends on the day. No. No, you know what? A genuine, from the heart, super deep, corny answer is, I don't regret anything that I've done in my life. I don't regret getting married as young as I did. I don't regret getting divorced. I don't regret getting on Match. I don't regret anything that I have done in my life. Heck, I don't even regret showing up to my own assault. Like, I don't regret anything in my life because in due time, everything ends up working out where it comes full circle and it all makes sense. Like, it always makes sense. When I tell you guys, trust the timing of your life, it's corny, it's cheesy, it's cliche, it's overdone, it has tire treads on it, but it is 100% true. Trust the timing of your life. Everything that happens in your life, as tragic as it is, always has an answer in the end as to why, how, what the lesson is, what you were meant to learn, what was meant to come of it. And if I had met Parker in my youth, when I got married the first time, I think I was 24, 25, I would have never had the maturity or the intelligence to appreciate a person like him. It's so bizarre how certain things in your youth are a lot more appealing than when you're older, more educated, have more life experience. You know, if I had met him before becoming a dad, maybe he wouldn't have been able to teach me how to be a better mom and stuff like that. So one thing that always gives my heart a lot of peace is the acceptance and acknowledgement that children don't choose to be here. Children never choose to be born. Children never choose to be a part of your life. Children are never like, all right, I think it's time for me to come into this world. I think it's my turn to shine. Children never have a say in their timeline when they decide to show up in your life and contribute. So children should never be the cause of conflict or blame. They're innocent in the entire story. As long as they're children, they're under the care of someone. So if you have an issue, if you have a problem, if something's going on, if something's happening, like, address it head on with the person that you're meant to address it with. And so no, I don't regret dating anyone with kids. And I also think that while children are never to blame and while children aren't the cause of issues, the issues always have like an underlying owner or handler. They should always be seen as an opportunity to brighten this world, educate this world, strengthen this world, contribute to this world. You know, they are blank slates. And whether or not they contribute or not to this world, if you're given the gift or the fortune to help them, channel them, put them on the right path, even just plant a seed, take advantage, you know? And so I don't have any regrets. And I especially don't think children should ever be laced into the concept or thought of even anything that's regretful. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Celine wants to know, how are you and the dogs? Ernie is amazing. She loves summer. I think summer's her favorite season. She gets in the pool, she screams at us, she's in the sun all day. I mean, she is a fan. So she's super happy. She thrives in the summer. Sophia is Sophia. And Sophia is always gonna be our loudmouth, super sassy, attitude, personality, happy, easy, healthy, like nothing afflicts this dog except her personality, except her sass. So she's just perfect. Wesley is, I mean, pretty healthy. He recently had his updated glucose curve and Cushing's exam. He's sundowning, so there's really nothing we can do about it except embrace every moment we have with him, but relatively happy, healthy. He's good, you know? I am okay. I have my days, you know? I miss the topo so much. I can't really talk about it, so I don't. I am struggling a little bit with being halfway through summer and not feeling like I belong to myself. I'm all touched out, but I know that everything has a time limit, you know? Everything has an expiration date. And so as much as my circumstance right now isn't ideal or perfect, or it's exhausting, or I have to go to Pilates at 6 a.m. instead of whenever I want, you know, because the kids aren't in school. It's part of life, you know? I have 18 summers with my kids and half of them are already gone. So do I want to waste one of the 18 summers complaining about it, or do I just want to reprioritize and just enjoy the moment I'm in? And watching my kids grow up and thrive and grow into their personalities is just, it's a daily reminder that it's worth it and that I'm doing the best I can and that I'm happy doing it. But I also miss having time to myself, you know? And of course, you know, there's the constant media and government and the news and countries and everything that's going on in the planet, in the world right now, in the world is just, it's too loud and it's too much. So I know my limits and I know how important my mental health is, and I know how transcendent my mental health is and how transferable it is. And so I do not extend my limits and I don't absorb more than I can handle, and I make sure to make it a point to check out when I need to check out, because I need to be a good mom and I need to be a good wife and I need to be a good daughter, and I can't do that by not respecting my boundaries. You know what I mean? So I have my good days, I have my bad days, and I think I've gotten good at listening to them and not feeling guilty about listening to them. No question, I just always think of you when I see Gal Gadot or Jennifer Garner. You know, I've heard that. And I've heard Jessica Alba and Anne Hathaway. And every time I hear it, I get so offended. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, really? What else? What do you think about them? Is it because of my voluptuous cup size? Is it my amazing double chin? No, if you guys are new around here, self-deprecation is a coping mechanism that I use. I do not have confidence issues, but I think I don't take compliments well. So I get really awkward. Like, my form of flirting is saying something like, God, you're so dumb. You know, so I'm awkward. I'm socially awkward, and I appreciate the super kind comment. And Jennifer Garner, I wish she was my best friend. I love her Instagram account. If you just want like pure, happy, feel good account, Jennifer Garner's account is awesome. Do you ever think about adding another fur member to the family? No, sort of. I think immediately thereafter the Doppel's passing, I looked into senior rescues in our area, I mean, I went out. I mean, I went up to like 4 hours out of our area, and I told myself, browse these rescues, and if God is sending you another soul to take care of, you will know. And there was no connection. And I'm not sure if it's because of the profound impact and connection that I felt with the double, or if it simply was the fact that 4 dogs is a lot. Ernie is not an emotionally healthy dog to where I could just bring another dog into the mix. I can't just fold in another dog. Ernie is very capricious. She has aggressive tendencies, and it's stressful enough with the dynamic we have now that I think something really serendipitous would have to occur for us to get another dog. I know Parker really wants a bird, but it has nothing to do with it being too soon. It has nothing to do with Doppel's passing. It has nothing to do with the right timing. I think just logistically, Ernie's not a nice dog with newcomers, and it's a lot of responsibility right now with what we have. And I think Wesley and Sophia, they're both seniors. I mean, they're 14 or 15. No, 13 or 14. They deserve a lot of attention right now. You know, they deserve to have good memories and to have a lot of love and affection. And that's our focus right now. And Ernie, I mean, she is what she is. She's hilarious. I feel a very strong responsibility with Ernie because she did not have a say in the way she was treated and how badly she was abused. So she will always get infinite passes in my eyes. She will always get infinite grace, infinite passes, infinite patience, because she was done a disservice, and that's not her fault. So I can't rewrite the past, but I can give her a better future. So we're good, but we're not adding another one unless God literally knocks on my doorstep and is like, here you go. And then I'm like, what's up, Chortle? Yeah, I already have a name picked out. It's either gonna be Chortle or it's gonna be Kevin. Why? I don't know. I just think it would be really funny to be like, let's go, Kevin. You know, it's like a person name. People aren't gonna know, are you talking to a dog? Are you talking to a kid? Like, who are you talking to? Is it your husband? And then Chortle, I heard it in a show we were watching, and I had never heard it. And you guys know how I feel about vocabulary. Like, if I'm learning a new word, I get real excited. And I didn't know what Chortle was. Look it up. My next pet will be Chortle or Kevin. Tell me about your dating yourself journey, please. 18 years is a lot to heal from. All right, this is the question from someone that I know personally. So the response will be factoring in that I know the breakup was not her choice, and it was something that she was thrust upon and was heartbroken. So to me, I read a lot into the way someone communicates, and the way she submitted her question was 18 years is a lot to heal from. You're not healing from 18 years. You're healing from a betrayal. 18 years, you got happily married, you had beautiful children, you made amazing memories together, Christmases, birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, which were a dream and happiness. Those don't go away. Those still deserve credit and value in your life because they meant something when they were happening and they're a part of your story. You're not healing from 18 years. You're healing from a betrayal, from someone that decided to compromise the promise they made to you. And so you're healing from deception, being lied to, being brokenhearted. That's not 18 years. So do not give yourself a mountain to carry because it's not. It was a choice someone else made and thrust you into it. Do you think it's fair to go to a jail and say, arrest me for a crime someone else committed? I want to serve the sentence for a crime someone else did. Bullshit, right? That's not your responsibility. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't pull the trigger. he did. So you're not healing from 18 years. You're forgiving something that you had no say in. Because I know you tried. So for me, dating myself was so important and was paramount to my success as a female, a mom, a friend, a daughter. Because after almost 10 years of marriage and so many changes in roles, you know, from being single to being a teacher, to being a mom, to being a wife, to being a divorcee, like being thrust into all these roles in such a compact amount of time, and then having it taken away from me without it being my choice. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what music I liked or what was my favorite food or what was my favorite color. I knew I liked loud and obnoxious nail polish, and I knew I liked wearing glitter on my eyelids, and I knew that I couldn't do anything about snort laughing, and I knew that I wanted to be an authoritative parent with a lot of structure. But none of that was something that was accepted or something that I acknowledged while I was in a marriage. And so the journey in dating yourself is accepting that you did what you could do and you did your best and it's over. Like, it's buried. It's done. That chapter is closed. It's not your fault. If there's guilt, if there's shame, if there's regret, or if there's hope, you haven't closed that chapter. So you gotta let go of the regret, the shame, the guilt, the hope. No, close it and move on. If you're not there yet, you're not ready to date yourself. And then acknowledgement that I'm worthy as a human, as an independent, as an individual on my own. I wasn't complete alone because I had given myself so much to this marriage. I was empty. I didn't know. Like, how do you forget your favorite color? Like, how does that even happen? How are you so engulfed and traumatized that you don't even know what your home decor style is because it was always told to you what it should have been? Acknowledgement that it's over, closing that chapter, and then getting to know yourself. And it's as dumb as it sounds, it's that simple. It's like you're getting to know a stranger, but that stranger is looking back at you in the mirror. And until you get to know that stranger, I think for me, the hardest part was when you're dating, if you're getting to know the stranger and you don't like something about them, you don't have to see them ever again. You can walk away. But when you're dating yourself, if you don't like something about yourself, you don't get to walk away. You got to pay the piper. So whether it's your lack of patience, your lack of grace, your holding on to anger, your resentment, whatever it is that you don't like about, it could be your waistline, something that you do not love about yourself, that you are not crazy about. That's what you're getting to know. The only difference is that instead of walking away and say, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested right now, I'm not looking for a relationship, is you don't have a choice. You have to stay in a relationship with yourself. And so whatever is looking back at you in that mirror that you do not like, that you do not acknowledge, you choose to date yourself despite that, but work on it along the way. So it's a journey of exploration. It's a journey of learning. It's a journey of acceptance. There are some things that you just have to accept about yourself. I can tell you right now, I have a list of probably like 30 things that I don't like about myself, but they are who I am. They are why I'm here. They have a reason, a wiring, and a story, and I've accepted it. And so the only thing that you need to know is if you're ready to date yourself is if you've let go of the guilt, the shame, the anger, and the hope of your dead relationship. If you've done that, then you're ready to date yourself. But that's hard. It's hard. It's a hard journey to start because it gets real dirty. You know, it's when you start to maybe seek out a counselor, a therapist, maybe even a psychiatrist. Like I have a psychiatrist, and just really understand how you got here and where you want to go. And it's so important. And it's as simple as like being confident sitting at a restaurant eating by yourself. It's as simple as walking into a Forever 21 because you want to wear a crop top. Because who gives a Whether you're married or a mom or you're 40 or you're 50, you want a crop top. Like you've had a dream to own a crop top and that's what you're gonna do it. You've wanted to start CrossFit. You wanna do CrossFit. That's a workout that you've always been curious to do it. There is no one standing in the way of you pursuing all the things you've wanted to pursue because you do not have to share your life, your opinion, your choices with anyone right now. So the only person holding you back from anything that you want to accomplish is yourself. That's a lot of responsibility and there is a lot of fear involved because if you don't get to your goal, it's on you. If you don't do what you had your heart set on, it's on you. Like it's all on you now. Before you could be like, this motherfucker is so lazy, he does this, he's a cheater, he's a liar, he's a woman beater. Look, my clip did not like that. He's like, nope. No ma'am, we don't talk about that here. And so it was easy to have a whipping boy. You don't have that anymore and now it's on you. And it's a very scary concept, but it's also a very empowering, badass woman inducing concept. So it's up to you now, and being able to accomplish that on your own, being able to succeed on your own, being able to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, you are, is such an amazing feeling that I hope that for you. And I pray that for you. And I hope that for anyone that's going through a breakup right now or a divorce, that you get to the point where you are so happy and so in love with yourself that you're happy alone, and that if you meet someone, it feels like a blessing. And if they walk away, that's fine too, because you trust the timing, but that you love the skin you're in, literally and figuratively. And that's what I hope for all of you guys, whether or not you're in a breakup, whether or not you're going through a divorce. I mean, heck, a relationship could be the last thing on your mind right now, but you still have to date yourself. You still have to embrace yourself, love yourself, accept yourself. And the things that you do not like about yourself are things that you are cognizant of, self-aware of, and are putting in the work to get better. You don't have to get better for anyone except yourself. And once you do that, the difference in your life will be remarkable. I have to tell you guys, my clip is driving me crazy because it's real heavy. And I got 3 hairs and they're not strong enough to hold on to it, Have any of you noticed all my new gray hair? Just welcome them to the club. They're part of the pandas now. How do you cope with feeling touched out when it comes to the kids and the hubby? So I'm home all day with my boys, and one of my kids is super independent, where I forget he's around, and the other one will literally sit outside of the toilet until I come out and wants to do everything with me. 100%. And if I don't have engagement with him, direct eye contact, that's still not good enough. And so by the time Parker comes home, I am 100% touched out. I am drained. My battery's not on empty. My phone's off. Parker is a very anxiously attached partner. And so with a lot of trial and error, with a lot of tripping and falling down, I've been able to communicate that with Parker, where I'm like, this is how I was raised and this is how you were raised. So please factor that in with your expectations of me. B, I'm home with the boys all day and you know how they are. So please consider that as well. And then C, there has to be a healthy balance. So I would say Parker's physical needs of me are a little bit higher. Same with my children. But my tolerance of physical willingness to give or accept is also a lot lower than normal. I am hypersensitive to being touched all the time. And so when one partner's needs are here and the other partner's needs are here, we have to meet somewhere in the middle. So tell your partner what your needs normally are. Tell your partner what's expected of you throughout the day. Understand what your partner's needs are. Is it asking too much? Is it asking too little? And then find a happy medium. But open communication, as ridiculous as it sounds. So I will literally tell Parker, I'm like, please don't touch me. I love you. I don't have anything left in me right now, and I'll make it up to you. And he understands. It doesn't ruin his day. He doesn't jump out of a window. But before, I never said, please don't touch me, I'm all touched out, I was just like, oh yeah, you know, and I never told him what's going on. He didn't know the backstory of my mom. Like, my mom was the type of woman that was awake by 6 a.m., full face of makeup, red lipstick on, and I was like, mommy, hug me, love me, mommy, hug me. I was like my one child that always needs the attention, and she was the type of mom that was like, ay, no me toques. Is your room clean? Go clean your room. No, I just did my makeup. Please don't touch my face. Don't touch my face. And so physical affection was used as a form of currency. And so for me now, asking for affection, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to get shut down. So I don't have any needs for physical affection. And for me to give it, it was never given to me organically. So for me to give it, I'm like, they're there, you know. For my kids, it's very easy because, you know, they're your children. It just comes naturally. You want to like envelop them with your love. But at the end of the day, when you have a partner that comes home that needs just as much or more, it's like, I can't. So always have open lines of communication. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it sounds, like literally saying it out loud, please don't touch me, I'm all touched out. And your partner's gonna be like, what? Explain it to them. Anybody that chooses to spend their life with you will understand. And the thing is that, and I think we touched on this in the previous video, is your partner doesn't have to understand why it's important to you. All they have to understand is that it is important to you. And so part of loving someone is choosing what they come with. Make them understand the value and the importance of it to you. Do you feel like you're too hard on your kids sometimes? No. I think I've made a very strong effort to break generational patterns of trauma. You know, I was raised on corporal punishment. I was raised on guilty until proven innocent. I was raised on do as I say, not as I do. I was raised on because I said so. And I didn't like how that made me feel. I felt like subhuman. And so with my kids, they know my job is to be your mom and to provide your physiological needs. A roof over your head, clothes, food, love, support, respect. Your job is to be my son, a good student, and to accept that you have your physiological needs met. If I'm telling you to do something and you don't understand why, I have no problem explaining it to you, but it's not a negotiation. You're gonna do it, but I will explain to you why, which is what I never got from my parents. If you do something terrible, absolutely terrible, I'm not going to spank you, hit you, you know, go get me the belt or bring me the hanger or whatever spoon you had in your hand. Like, I don't want you to fear me. I want you to respect me, but I don't ever want you to be scared of me. If you made a mistake, if you fell down, I want to be your first resource when you need help. And I'm not going to create that environment for you if you're afraid of me. So I don't think I'm too strict. I think I'm the mom that's like, okay, second warning, fourth warning, 12th warning. But ultimately, I think my kids trust me and love me and are happy when they're here. And I think they believe that I want what's best for them, you know, and I learn little things from them, or I get that validation along the way. Like when I told you guys I apologized to Mateo. I made a mistake and I said sorry. And I'll never forget his face. It was like he saw a ghost. He was like, what? What do you mean you're sorry? And I said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I assumed something and it was wrong and I made a mistake, so you deserve an apology because my behavior wasn't okay. And he's like, grown-ups don't apologize to kids. And I was like, they don't. Humans apologize to humans. I don't care how old you are. You make a mistake, you acknowledge your mistake, and someone that you love deserves to understand that you realize you made a mistake, right? Here's the thing. I didn't know how to apologize until I met Parker. Because to me, apologies were something that I never deserved to get. Parents never apologized to me. My relationships never apologized to me. Heck, my first marriage, it was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. However, I'm sorry just until I do it again. So apologies carried little weight. So it wasn't until I met Parker that I learned the actual value in an apology. So do I think I'm too hard on my kids? No. Do I think I jump to conclusions? I do. Do I think I could be more patient? Absolutely. Do I cry myself to sleep sometimes because motherhood is bullshit? Sometimes it's really hard? Absolutely. But do I regret being an authoritative parent with structure? Absolutely not. I've been exposed to enough kids, enough teenagers, enough everything with family, with blending families, with my teaching career when I was a high school teacher, to know it's so obvious to find or to pinpoint when a child was raised in an environment with structure, with rules, with guidelines, with expectations, with repercussions and consequences versus a child that was basically raised themselves. It's very obvious. And so I want to set up my kids for success so that when I'm not around, they know how to take care of themselves. And you cannot teach a child to take care of themselves if you do not provide an ordinance for them. If you don't provide structure, if you don't provide expectations, if you don't tell them how to be neat and orderly and respectful and kind, they're not just gonna learn that on their own. You're not born empathetic, you learn it, you know? And so this whole hands-off parenting, I think is bullshit. And that's my 2 cents. Birth control. I have low libido, and you mentioned finding the right birth control in one blog. Libido is tricky though. For me, libido is dual. Like it's a dual, how do I explain it? When I was on general, like hormonal, just like the basic estrogen, progesterone type birth control, it was a super libido killer. And so it wasn't until I got on the low Phe, which is the lowest amount of hormones in any sort of birth control, that I saw my libido again. The other thing for me is it's a very emotional thing. So I don't know if it had to do with how I was raised or my previous history with assault or trauma or my previous marriage, but for me, libido is a very mental and emotional thing. And so if Parker and I are in a disagreement or we have had a few rough days, I'm not like, yeah, get it over here, you know? Like that's the last thing on my mind. My libido comes from a place of desire for connection with someone that I love and I just want to be as close as possible to. For some women, it's really just hormones. Like their hormones are driving them crazy. They're ovulating and they're like, yeah, I just need to get it in. Identify in your history of coming of age and transition and where you noticed sexual health was a prominent part of your life. What affects your libido? Is it emotional? Is it mental? Does it have to do with exhaustion? It could be your birth control. Like for me, I had zero libido. Like it was an aversion to sex when I was on the wrong birth control. I got put on low Phe and I had those little spikes of like, yeah, you know, let's talk about it. More than talk, obviously. But now that I guess I've run the gamut, you know, the fireworks, the bells and whistles and the fancy lingerie and the this and the that. I've had the this, I've had the this, I've had the that, I know what I like. I know how to ask for it. I know now for me, it's 100% where I am mentally and emotionally in that moment, whether or not I want it. Be self-aware and identify when you've noticed your spikes. Was it when you started taking birth control? Could it be your age? Did you just have a baby? I don't know. How old are you? Could we be doing the whole, Parker always teases me because I tell him you have your cellular regeneration like every 7 to 10 years. I'm like, are you going through your cellular regeneration? Like for me, it's every fall, every 7 years, I'm like a new person and it's lined up perfectly with careers and marriages and divorces and everything. And so think about that. Libido can be super basic, like animalistic, or it could be a lot more complex. For me, it's changed throughout the years. And right now, it's, I wouldn't say complex, but I know like if Parker and I are fighting, I don't want to have sex. I don't even think about it. Girl, how's the working out going? I love Pilates. I never thought I would find an exercise that literally makes me happy. You know, like emotionally, mentally, physically, it makes me so happy. Like, I haven't noticed a difference in the way I look physically or lost weight or any of that. I just feel so good every time I go, to the point where, because the boys are in summer, like off school because of summer, I'm like a little resentful because they're not in school, so I can't go to the classes that I loved going to. So now I either have to leave the house at like 5:30 to go to the 6 a.m. or I have to go after dinner around 6 or 7, which we just ate, and I feel super gross. I'm bloated out to here and I have to go and pretend I enjoy it. And it's just terrible. So I started to be a little resentful, but that just showed me that I actually enjoy it. I actually love it. It's a part of who I am now and something that is worth making time for. So I like it. I enjoy it, and so far so good. I just got a lab puppy and I'm going crazy. Will it get better? Any advice or tips? Having a puppy is like having a newborn, and I think God designs us humans in a way where we forget the newborn phase, where we forget the pregnancy phase, where we forget the hardest moments and just remember the sparkly, bright memories. Newborns are very difficult, puppies included. And so just like I would say with a human child, rules, guidelines, expectations, crate training, potty training. I don't care how cute your lab is. By the way, send us pictures. Oh, look at that. There we go again. The 3 baby hairs strike again. So send us pictures, but stay firm in your style of parenting when it comes to your dog. Crate train that puppy, potty train that puppy, have expectations. Don't be like, oh, he's cute, it's totally fine, rip up my shoes. No, consequences, training. The puppy is in the most impressionable age right now where you could basically get this dog to do whatever you want it to do. So stay patient. Stay graceful, stay loving, but stay firm. Don't let them eat up your stuff, you know, because then you have dogs that grow up and eat your kid's glasses or eat your kid's retainer or chew through your kid's iPad cover, and it's not a good place to be. It gets real expensive. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, my dogs have always had a very good disposition, very good personality. I don't know what it is, but I've always been able to train puppies very early on to potty train and not eat things. But I think it also has a lot to do with giving them access to the right things. So puppies are going to chew because they're teething, just like a baby's going to cry and fuss and get colicky because they're teething. So if you don't give them access to the right things to chew on, they're going to find something to chew on. It's like raising a baby. So stay strong, because I can imagine how cute they are. Oh man, puppies, and like their breath. Oh, it always smells so good and like milky. And their little coconuts and their floppy ears. Their paws are always so big and juicy. Stay strong. Don't be a softie to all the cuteness. You know what I'm saying? New mama here and struggling with postpartum depression. Did you ever have it with either of your boys? I did not. Maybe I did. I mean, I was already basically in the middle of breaking up or dissolving my marriage when Daniel came along. And I remember having Daniel as an infant, Mateo was a toddler, and going to see my primary care and saying, I hate being a mom. I resent my kids. I hate my husband. I really like my job, but I feel weighed down. I'm shackled. I hate my life. It's the worst. And I could totally understand the desire of wanting to purchase like a one-way ticket to a country and just disappear and change your name. And my doctor said, oh, that's just motherhood and being self-employed. It's part of the deal. Go out for a walk. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Exercise if you can and take some vitamin D. I'm sorry, but if I was in that consultation again and I was saying that to my doctor again and my doctor wasn't shocked or alarmed at the fact that I said I hate being a mom, I hate my husband, I resent my children, and I didn't say here's a pamphlet for psychiatry, I don't think postpartum depression has to be classified as postpartum depression. I think just the acknowledgement of the fact that you just created a life, destroyed your body, have this hormonal influx that is just completely indescribable. You don't even recognize yourself anymore, and your life is turned completely upside down. You don't have to be diagnosed with postpartum depression to just acknowledge the fact that becoming a mom is really hard. And sometimes it sucks. Acknowledge it. Don't hush the voices. Don't go to the doctor that says, do you go for walks with your stroller and get the sun and the vitamin D? No. Acknowledge what you're feeling. And if you're feeling like this, explain it like this. And if you're feeling this feeling, explain it like this. And if you're feeling sad, tell someone you're really sad. It shouldn't be something that you carry on your own. You carry your pregnancy on your own. You carry the birth on your own. You carry the responsibility of becoming a mom on your own. But you don't have to be unsupported. That's not the point. It takes a village. You know, we're not designed to be alone. We're not designed to carry our problems by ourselves. So talk to somebody. And if your mom's not supportive, like your mom doesn't believe in mental health, like my mom's like, talk to God or talk to me. That's why you have me. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't rely on Sam. She's just a stranger. I'm your mom. Count on me. No, like if your parents aren't supportive or don't give you the support you need, because I would say my mom thinks she's being supportive, but that's not the kind of support that I need to feel supported. If your husband's not supportive, if your primary care isn't supportive, like, don't just give up. You just haven't found the right source of comfort and answers, solutions, validation, which is so important. But you are not alone. And the amount of women that say, I think I could have had postpartum depression because everyone around them said, yep, that's motherhood. It's hard. It's super hard. It gets harder. It's basically telling someone, shut the f up. It's part of the deal. It's not part of the deal. It's like when someone tells me, hey, well, you signed up for it when you were on YouTube. You have to accept the emotional abuse. No, the f I don't. It's not part of the deal. And if I'm saying I feel A, B, and C, I'm going to find someone that's going to validate the fact that I feel A, B, and C. So I'm so proud of you for recognizing that you are struggling, but don't struggle alone. You do not have to carry that by yourself. And when things get too heavy, that's what our village is for, is to help offset the weight. Your baby deserves a healthy mom. And even if that means that you can't be a mom right now in this moment, that's okay. Take the time you need, because those in your circle that validate and support you will understand your needs and meet them for you. But do not do it alone. This is not the time to be brave. This is not the time to be tough. And this is not the time to let the ego do the talking. And also, can I hold your baby? Mientras encontrabas a Parker, no llegaste a sentir que se te iba el tren. She basically means, while you were waiting to find Parker, while I was dating after divorce, did you feel like you could become an old maid? Or like I'd missed my opportunity? I think as humans, we have done a very disgusting, atrocious, hurtful job at giving times in our life an age. By this age, you have to do this. By this age, you have to do that. By this age, the f you do. You could find love at the senior care center in your retirement age. You could start a business in your 50s or 60s. You could go back to college and there is no time frame to do things that you want to do. You just have to want them enough. And so I knew that I was going to end up where I needed to end up. Whether or not I was happy with it or accepting of it in the moment, eventually I come around. And so I knew what was meant for me would never miss me. I've never been afraid to be alone. I've always been righteously independent. And it wasn't until the recent year or two that I learned that fierce independence is a coping mechanism from trauma. We're not designed to be fiercely independent. We're designed to rely on others, to accept the help of others, to feel comfortable asking for help, which I've never done very well. And so allowing a concern like que se me vaya el tren, or to miss my chance at love, or become an old maid is stealing from my present moment, you know? So I'm not gonna let the potential of what may or may not happen in the future that hasn't actually happened steal me from this moment right now that I'm living. So I enjoyed the dating while I did. I learned from it. I got to know myself a lot better. And I was never concerned with finding love. I guess I didn't see it as I was married, now I'm divorced, now I have to get married again. It wasn't a mission or like a goal or something I wanted to accomplish. It was something that I wanted to do to be social, because I wanted companionship. I wanted to not be alone. I wanted to make a friend. I wanted to have someone to vent to if I was having a bad day, or if I needed help with the toilet, and to just work on things together, you know, to just have a partner to walk through life with, but not something that I needed or a task that I needed to check off. Don't be concerned with labels, time frames, specific times that we've arbitrarily told ourselves, ages that we need to meet to do things by. Like that's not fair. You don't deserve to set those kinds of expectations for yourself. Trust the timing of your life. Trust what happens in your life. And if there's something in your life that is happening and you don't like it, change it. It's that easy. There is no train you need to catch. There is no time frame you need to meet. And there's no expectation of you of when this needs to happen. And if you have an expectation for yourself of when you would like it to happen, get out there and do what you need to do to reach that goal, but not because society tells you otherwise. Society doesn't get to pay your bills. Society doesn't cook you dinner. Society doesn't pay your mortgage. Society doesn't go to work with you. Society is society is society. This is your life. Are you happy being single? Heck, I've met a lot of people that are like, I'm happy being alone. I'm okay with it. You know what society's saying? I'm sorry, you gotta check this box. Are you married or divorced, and how many kids do you have? Like, you have to, it's part of the deal. You're a human, you're supposed to do these things. No, you don't. You really don't. And because you're a woman, you don't have to be a mom. And because you're a dad, you don't have to be manly and know how to use tools. You know, like, don't let society, don't let expectations, don't let these arbitrary rules dictate your life. Because guess what? At the end of the day, when you're in a wooden box all alone, you want to make sure that you did what made you happy and you created the life that you saw for yourself, because you were the one living it. And that's it, the end. Did you ever envision your life as single before Parker? What did you plan? I started dating and I was on Bumble, just on Bumble, because I wanted to be social. I wanted to get out and I wanted to talk to other humans that were adults, because I was home and I was either talking to a camera, I was fighting with a co-parent, I was arguing with my parents, or I was talking to children. And I wanted to be social. I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want casual sex. I didn't want another husband. I just wanted to be social. And it has always been so difficult for me to make female friends. God has blessed me with the most beautiful, easygoing, accepting, and mature, self-aware, wonderful women. But in my entire life, like, there's been this many, you know? And so I get along better with men. I can have better conversations with men. I can get along easier with men. It's just so I can be transparent. I can be myself, because they are usually, typically, from my experience. Obviously, I'm making generalizations, but just from my experience. And so I just wanted to get out and be social. And so I didn't imagine myself creating another life with another person that was also a dad, that was also divorced. I didn't want that. I just wanted to be a good mom. I wanted to support my kids. I wanted to be present in their life. I wanted to go to their plays and their meetings, and I wanted to raise them and be present. That was it. Love was the last thing on my mind, because my experience to that day, to 2016, had always been sour. And so I was like, this may or may not be for me. I didn't close the door, but I wasn't looking for it. And so for me, Bumble was like, yeah, it's fun. All right, he's cute. Well, if I'm gonna have a conversation with someone, might as well be cute. And if he kisses me, bonus, you know? But it wasn't until I got the opportunity to work with Match. You guys remember? It was like, hey, come here. Our headquarters is in Dallas. Let's do a behind the scenes vlog. That I got a membership to Match. And again, it was a complete and total disaster. And then Parker was like my last ditch effort. Now when I look back, I realize I am a social creature. I do appreciate the physical interaction. I do appreciate having someone to rely on, but it wasn't a goal for me to be in a relationship. I was happy just being a mom and having two very separate lives. You know, like one as a mom and as like a YouTuber, that was my job, and the other as like the single woman that would just casually go out, meet people, go to dinners, have a few cocktails, and take an Uber home. Like that was it. I was okay living a double life. And now I'm like, maybe I thought I was, but I think God knows me a lot better than I know myself. And he was like, you need an anchor because you crazy. Years ago, you filmed a how to cut a cantaloupe, and I still use that tip to this day. You guys, that was one of my oldest stories on Instagram, and it got flagged for copyright issues. So they deleted it. They didn't even ask me. They didn't let me refute it. They didn't let me fight it or whatever. So if you saw that video, it's now gone. It's been deleted. But I love, this is just, let me have an ego moment, okay? Let me just have a self-centered, egocentrical, full of myself moment. Anytime you guys tell me I taught you something, you're like, Dani, you taught me how to do this chicken or whatever. You guys make me feel like this big. It's more than if you say you're pretty, because I'm like, no, I'm not. Or if you say like, oh my God, I love your tan. I'm like, yes, okay, maybe my tan too. But you know, like if Parker tells me you're hot, I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, so shut up. But if someone says you taught me this or this, I'm like, what else? You know, it's like the biggest ego boost or confidence builder or compliment you could give me. So thank you. You just made my day. Clearly, you made my whole day. I think we're gonna wrap it up on this one because my eyes are getting red because I think the glitter's falling into my eyeballs. Pregnancy advice. Did you feel connected? I'm struggling very hard to connect with baby. I have this like period of hesitation every time I get asked a pregnancy question because like this is the way I feel and this is the way society tells me I should have felt. And I'm inclined to give you this answer because it's what I'm supposed to say to encourage you. But as a woman that is independent and has a really big mouth and wish people had been really honest with me, I really struggle with this part, you know? And so all I can share is my personal experience. When I was pregnant, I hated it. I felt gross. I felt disgusting. I felt like an appliance. Like an appliance that you use to do something and then put it away in the closet. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel hot. I didn't feel sexy. Like, you know when you see those like half naked maternity shoots and the woman's like, oh my God, embracing motherhood. This is like the best time of my life. Here's my tummy. And I'm like, ugh. Like, I understand why celebrities will hire a surrogate. And so, but those are my honest, true feelings. I was an appliance. I incubated a baby and it wasn't, I felt more excited about being pregnant or becoming a mom by walking into a Bye Baby and purchasing onesies and bottles. That was what made me feel like I'm gonna be a mom, as opposed to the this or the kicking or the elbows. Like I have so many videos of like a foot just like trying to rip out of my stomach. I cannot stress enough. I did not appreciate, feel like a mom, love, embrace, feel any kind of way until I was holding my baby. But y'all, and I'm gonna get really emotional. When they give you that baby, you could disappear into the universe in that moment and know it was all worth it. It's part of the reason why I say, if you hate something in your life, change it. If you hate the moment you're in, it's not gonna last forever. If you love the moment you're in, it's not gonna last forever. Life is so fleeting, and time is something that you can't buy. And so, yeah, I hated being pregnant for 9 months. I felt gross and disgusting. I didn't enjoy it. I resented the way I felt. I couldn't be comfortable. I didn't sleep well. All I wanted to do was like eat apricots, cantaloupe, and lemon meringue pie. That's all I wanted. And I hated that there was this thing inside of me that was taking everything from me, and I was so unhappy. But in a matter of like, what, 11 minutes, which is how long my cesarean took, and you see this baby that's like purple, covered in guck, his eyes can't even open, and he's like, he looks like a little alien, but you're like, I would do it all over again. Just like we told our friend about her expectations, about when she needs to be in a relationship, by what time she needs to be married, by what time she should be finding love. Don't let society's expectations of you guide you to feel any kind of way, because your feelings, no matter what your feelings are, they're valid. You hate being pregnant? That's fine. You feel gross being pregnant? That's fine. You resent your baby for being in your belly and treating you like an oven? That's fine. Your feelings are so valid, and there shouldn't be any shame involved around it. Just because Susan down the street is like the perfect pregnant woman that glows like a freaking Charlie Manson hippie from the 70s, where you're like, I wish I looked like that in sheer fabric. We're not all the same, you know? And look at my kids. My kids are brilliant. They're amazing and they're healthy. They don't need to know that I hated being pregnant with them. They will probably know eventually, but they are healthy and they're fine and they're happy and they know mama loves them, and that's all that matters. But you know what? Right now, you've never met that baby. That baby hasn't seen your face. You've never held that baby's hand, and all that baby is doing is making you hungry, making you cranky, making you hormonal, making you upset, and making your pants not fit, and you can't sleep. You don't have to be connected to the baby that you're making, you know, because right now you are a machine and you are creating life, and that's fine. Right now it is about you. It's about how you feel. It's about what's going on in your life. It's about your feelings and finding a way to be comfortable in the season of life that you're in, because it's not gonna last that long. It's 9 months, honey. It's 9 months and you're gonna get over it. And then when they give you that baby, then you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is the cutest baby in the whole world. Look at his fingers and his hands and his little butt cheeks. Oh my God, and the smell in their neck and their coconuts. And you're like, wow. And then you realize God makes them this cute because the little are awake all night. But it's worth it because they look at you at like 3 a.m., you haven't slept, and they smile and they know you're there to protect them and to love them and to take care of them. And then one day, your 7-year-old is gonna tell you, you're beautiful, mommy. I love you, mommy. You understand me, mommy. And it just all makes sense. But it's part of life, you know, and don't let anyone make you feel some type of way. You are not, there's no book on how you're supposed to feel, on what goals you're supposed to reach at what age. It's not like when you're playing Mario and you get to the checkpoint and they're like, you got the halfway point and then you die and then you get to do it all over again. Life doesn't work that way. You don't get to the flag and go down the flagpole and then you complete that stage. Life does not work that way. Everyone's life is different. And if you hate being pregnant, I did too, sister. It's fine. It's fine. That does not make you a bad mom. That doesn't mean you hate your baby. But I will tell you this, just like I told you everything else. If once your baby comes into this world and you get the gift of holding that baby, nurturing this baby, feeding this baby, spending nights awake with this baby, if you still feel the same way, tell somebody. Because a lot of times with pregnancy, our body doesn't treat us the way we want it to, and betrays us sometimes and makes us feel really yucky feelings, really strong feelings. You'll know if they're right or wrong, tell your doctor, because it's better to put it out there than to keep it to ourselves. Again, we don't have to carry loads if they're too heavy. Does that make sense? But don't feel shame. Don't feel shame in your feelings. Like I said, I did not feel bonded or connected with my babies until I was doing the shopping and painting the nursery. Like when I was doing materialistic things, not when I was feeling the kicking and the, you know, like this did nothing for me. This did everything. Or when I got to meet my sons. So there's no right or wrong way to feel. And if someone's shaming you for the way you feel, just slide into my DMs. Maybe just give us her phone number, just her Instagram handle. We'll take care of you, because there's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. And I got your back, girl. Congratulations. I know it doesn't feel like a congratulations right now, but this is a big deal and your life is about to get real exciting, and I'm so happy for you. And I'm also really, really excited that you guys contribute such wonderful, amazing, entertaining, helpful, educational questions, comments, concerns to these types of videos, because I think that this world can be such a big, lonely, cold place. And when we make connections like these, we make the world feel a little bit smaller and a little warmer. And that's a big deal. Right now, it's not a very happy place. It's kind of a lonely place. And I think the whole point of humanity, of taking care of each other, loving one another, and being accepting and loving is not a priority to most people right now, and it can be a little isolating. So if we can come here and talk about things that make us happy, that make our heart feel seen and understood, that's the least that I could do by you guys spending this much time with me. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for sending in your questions, your comments, your concerns, your jokes, whatever we discussed in this video. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And if your heart is hurting right now, if it's aching, if it's tired of running, if you are going through something, know that us here in our little home, we are thinking about you and our community, and you're in our thoughts and our prayers. And I hope that whatever you're going through right now doesn't last much longer, because everything in life is seasonal. Everything has its expiration date. So just hang on. And when it starts getting a little loose, make another knot and just keep hanging on, because that's all we got, you know? Give it your best ditch effort. Anyway, I will make sure to leave a playlist of all these videos down in the description box below in case you guys are piqued and you want to hear another one. Hopefully they're still entertaining. Maybe they're relevant. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're really just... maybe they're just entertainment. But you guys know the drill. I love you so much, and you know what to do. If you found this video useful, entertaining, and learned something, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye, guys.